morning, beloved, dear father, dear mother. I'd like to talk to you this morning. I would actually like to talk and advise you to tell your boys and your girls the danger of drugs. Because drugs, firstly, they deteriorate your health and they can lead you to graveyard or prison. These boys and girls, they don't actually know how it is to be in prison. Let me tell you something that you have to tell your children. In prison, there is no life. In prison, your life is totally shattered. You don't eat properly, you don't sleep properly, you don't walk properly, there's nothing that you do properly. And then you have to join gangsters with the perception that you'll be safe. Joining gangster is very dangerous and venomous, and it's depriving the inmates from the privileges like going to school, going to church, be rehabilitated, be transformed, because you always have to live with the inchaelo. Inchaelo is the laws. It's actually what you are told to do on a daily basis. Sometimes they can say you must go and step the other gang member. They can tell you to go and step the police. They can tell you to step one of the gangster members of their gang, or they can tell you to go and step the other inmates that is not a gang member. They call them mbata. So life in prison is nothing that is desirable for one. Even your worst enemy, you wouldn't actually advise or maybe wish him to go to jail. Now, there are some of the guys who are from prison, those Rotmans. Those people are bitter. They experienced a very hardship in prison. There are things that they experienced that they never thought can happen to them. Some of them have been women in prison. They've been girlfriends to other inmates. Those Rotmans that you see, who are free now, some were girlfriends, so they are bitter. Inside, they are hurt, they are damaged inside. When they don't like you, they would wish you to go to prison. And they always make it a point that you join gangsters outside, you commit crime, so that you must go and have that experience. Maybe for one or two reasons, that's why they don't like you. Maybe your parents were mocking at them when they were in prison, they heard about that, or for whatever reason could be. So tell your sons and those girls to stop being influenced by the ex-convicts, because some of them, they are dangerous. Some of them, they are good. They'll always advise them not to commit crime because they'll go to jail. And in prison, you must understand that they keep on wanting to get promotion in the gangster. So for them to get a promotion, they have to spill blood. Spilling blood could be that person, that victim can die, or can be hospitalized, or can be disabled, permanently disabled. So it's not nice to be in prison. You are being forced to commit crime in prison. You can be sentenced to 3 years and end up serving 100 years because of the crimes that you are busy doing as a gang member. And they get charged in prison, mind you. There's a court in prison. When you commit crime in prison, you're going to some of the crimes, you get to court trial in prison, and they give you more and more and more years. And then another thing, you can get killed in prison and vanish just there in the section. Because what they do, they kill you, and after killing you, they chop you into pieces, and they flush you in the toilet, and you'll become unknown. Nobody will never know where we are. And the inmates are not supposed to divulge the secret in the cell. And even when you have committed crime, when the police give you hiding, you are not supposed to scream or to cry or whatever. You just have to be quiet. They can do whatever they like. There are a lot of people who have been, physically damaged by being beaten by the police in prisons. Because those people, they don't play. They hit you because they know that they are dealing with criminals. They hit you to the last degree. So tell your sons and your daughters to stop with this issue of crime and joining gangsters outside, and tell them to stop with tattoo, because when you draw a tattoo, when you can be trialed or maybe be imprisoned as a youngster, automatically you belong to one of the gangster member, because there's one that tattoo on the left and the other one is on the right. So obviously you're going to, left is left gangster, right is right gangster, 26 and 28. So people, please tell your children to stop with crime. You must tell them exactly what's happening in prison. People, you can see somebody coming from prison being, physically well, but internally that person is damaged. There is no any person who can come from jail without any change. That could be changed to the best or changed to the worst, or internal change, or mental change, or physical change, psychological change. Prison, just when you just enter there, it changes your perception altogether. You are thinking, you become cruel, you become, there's a lot that is happening in prison, and that is caused by use of abusive substances. Tell your children to refrain from using drugs. Even Dacha, that they call Zol, that thing is not Zol. You must tell them to stop trying to decorate sugar coat Dacha. That is Dacha. It's not Zolo. Zolo is BB and Boxer. That was used by the country. Even now they're still using it. That is Zol, not Dacha. Dacha is ganja. And then there is a legalized Dacha ganja, which is cannabis. That one is legalized. But this traditional Dacha is not. Traditional Dacha is the one that cause people to end up in mental hospitals, because Dacha and crystal meth, they function the same in your brain. They damage your brain cells slowly. Your brain cells are damaged. Or this white man was saying, I've been smoking Dacha. They are not normal. Those people are not normal. That's why they sugar coated. That's why. Where have you ever seen a person who's smoking Dacha being normal? Because whenever they talk their own language. Their behavior is their own language. I mean, you can just see how it changes them to behave. But all the same, what I'm asking you, please tell your children to refrain from drugs, because drugs, they're gonna commit crime. And even you can see when they are intoxicated of drugs, they abuse you, gender-based violence, femicide. A lot of people who commit gender-based violence, they are doing that under the influence of Dacha or crystal meth or drugs or whatever. But alcohol, I wouldn't say people mustn't drink alcohol. I mean, alcohol, I used alcohol as well. At the age of 15, I quit it at the age of 30. I used alcohol for 15 years. And I don't want anything to do with alcohol right now. But I can't tell people not to use alcohol, because alcohol is a source of socialization. When you socialize, you use alcohol. But you can't say you socialize with drugs. Come on, people, man. Let's just be honest. And then these people are using, and cigarette as well. Cigarette smoking is not right. Tell your kids to stop with cigarette, because they start with cigarette, they go to Dacha, and from there, it's drugs. And cigarette, people are using cigarette, most of them. They use your tax, you workers, they use your tax because they don't have money. They go to public hospital. Who's paying for them in public hospital? It's you. Or another very person who don't tell them the danger of cigarette. They are using your money. That money is supposed to be used for service delivery, like this road that are full of. Now they make it as a buffer for health, because there are a lot of people who are suffering from tuberculosis, lung cancer, because of cigarette smoking. Cigarette smoking is not right. I mean, imagine a person who smokes cigarette. He or she endangers his or her lungs, and as well as smelling. I mean, for socialization, imagine talking to a person smelling cigarette. And they also let other people to smoke because they smoke in public. And I don't know, because public smoking has been abolished, but they are still doing it. Tell people to stop smoking in public because that is abolished. We are not supposed to smoke in public. There are children, they're inhaling the cigarette. There are people who are suffering from asthma, adults or whatever. They are inhaling cigarette involuntarily. Please, people, let us try to behave, and we'll see everything will be smooth, run smooth, and we won't have all this problem that we have right now. So thank you for listening, people, and have a wonderful day. Bye.